Hey, welcome. You have arrived at the process. My name is Dr. John Bush. This is lesson 24. Wow. Running back positional analysis part 2A. So I split this up because I do get a little bit long-winded. I do like to run my mouth when I'm doing my lectures. And of course, the goal here for my lessons are to help you win, not only win, crush your fantasy football drafts. I think it gives you about a 60% advantage over the rest of the league. And then hopefully you can check me out during in season at I've been writing for Fake Pigskin, so you can hang out at that place if you'd like. Uh, continue to hang out there. Okay, let's continue. We've already covered two lessons on running backs, and I thought we saw some intriguing suggestions of trends and things. That's going to help us out. Let's continue that journey. With experience levels, and I define experience as years in the league. Obviously, the symbols are R for rookie, and we're going from '02 to last year. And then the second year is R2, third year R3, etc., all the way to 11-year experience plus. And what we see here is position years, experience levels, and average of fantasy points per game by these running backs. And down at the bottom, we have the grand total averages for each column. And so just across 18 years of data, the suggestion is that 6 years of experience, 8 and 9 are the optimum and return the most. And it really drops in 10 and 11 years plus experience. It really drops. Note that rookie running backs, on average, not everyone, just, all that were drafted, are not really producing so much, and experience 2 and 3 as well. Not as much as some of the more seasoned. So we have this age thing, which suggests youth, 26 and under, and now experience thing happening. So you need to kind of reconcile that as you're going. We are not in the golden age of running backs. That was back in '02, '03, '04. If you look at the productions here, nice productions. The blue circles are the top 5 in each category. And 2020, the 4th and 6th were in the top 5, and the year before it was the 3rd and the 6th, and the year before was the 2nd. And I'm sorry, and also the old dogs, the 11 years of experience in 2019 and tenured experience 2018. So there's no kind of take home other than as I look at it, uh, it's a lot of the higher productions are finding their ways into 4th through maybe 10th or so. I mean, if you look across, certainly the optimum and the peak would be at 6, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you're getting some of the best returns there. But anyway, that's just kind of what the data is saying here on experience. So keep that in mind. If we look at the area graph of points, we can certainly see back in the good old days, there was a lot of production. And we've seen a little, and you can, in the yellow, for instance, is 6 to the 8 points. and then the purple's 4 to 6. So we don't see a lot of 8 to 10, a little bit here, a little bit there. But we've, in the early parts of the experience levels, you're not seeing a big production here. Starting to see some better upticks in recent years, 4, 5, 6, 7, right in there. And here's some of the older dogs back 17, 16, 15, back in that day. So there may be starting to get, I mean, look at the blue here. You hadn't seen a lot of that in these sections. So if we look at the top running backs, the top quarter, okay, the top 25% at the end, and I circled the, I guess, whatever it was, 14, 13, whatever it is, made note of the year, and I went, looks like I went, and I may have done that in the previous, and I may have neglected that, but here's the top two per year. And the top two last year were 4 and 5. The year before was 3 and 9. The year before was 2 and 4. And in 2017, it was rookies and ninth year. So we're seeing a little bit of activity here, but as you can see, it hasn't been as strong as, I mean, this in this area here is just not a lot of strength here. It's tended to be, you know, sixth and out here, kind of in this area, right? I think in the last few years. And now we're starting to see a little bit skewed to the youth, a little bit, not, you know, 100%, but clearly we're doing a lot better if you look at the top 25% of quarterback, and it's and you're not seeing any old dogs here. They're pretty much weak sauce here, and you haven't seen any in these columns, meaning there was no running backs that fit that position here in the top 25. So you're just not finding pretty much the older running backs in the tops here, and fantasy points per game. They're tending to skew more to the youth in the last 2, 3, 4 years. Okay, just be aware there's been a change from about 16, so about 17 up. We've started to see a shift towards the youth here, fantasy points per game in the experience here. And we see the golden age of running backs here, and we see some, it's kind of hard to see, it's 3-dimension, but this is this region in here. It's just kind of funky looking. So we're starting to see kind of a comeback in those areas. Then, you know, it's been a long drought, and now we may be kind of coming back up there. But the old dogs certainly are dropping out as well. So if we break this into sectors, year sectors, because we do want to step away from the olden days, 02 to 06. I did 07 to 11, 12 to 16, and then the last 4 years here. And I circled the top, and you could see that the shift has now begun, and we're seeing even better rookies coming in, better 2-year, 3 and 4 are really peaking now. They've never peaked, you know, at these numbers. Really, take a look at the old days. See, there was quite the shift here, And now that's been flip-flopped. So I think we've seen this turnaround shift from about 17 on, and I think that is going to increase. The metrics would say we're definitely in a different era than what we've seen previously. So do be aware. I think most people are starting to be aware, but realize a little bit of experience in the younger players really pays dividends, certainly 3 or 4 years. So if you came in really young, 2021, and you've got 2 or 3 years experience, or if you came in, even 4 years experience, you're kind of peaking. So for Dynasty, notice the drop at even 5 years of experience. We're down. So it may be more extreme than Dynasty folks are seeing. I hadn't seen this data. Y'all seen this data? I hadn't seen this data. I don't know what people are talking about. Here it is. This is what we're talking about. These metrics pointed us towards directions here. So if you're hardcore, you're jettisoning your running backs certainly after 5 years, I would think. I would. And probably need to do an age check here. And so I think in your drafts, you should see whether you'll pay off in 3 or 4 years. So I wouldn't be too quick to get rid of young running backs until they've certainly gone into their fourth season. And if they're still not really giving you what you need, I think that's a signal to go ahead and jettison them. So I would definitely take that home in my dynasty here. Get a little bit aggressive. And you might trade away some of these guys at year 4. They're going to be looking pretty good. You might get some nice, year picks or, rookie picks, if you come into there. So even if you wait on year 5, you could always claim, well, they had a bad year. Look over here. You see, you want to make sure you use a little bit of metrics to wet the whistle of your trade partner there a little bit, sell them on the glory days, right? Don't show this data. Show that data. Live in the past, right? We're all living in the past in Dynasty when you're trading. Man, they were really good last year. They'll probably do really good this year. Let's trade. Just want to say. Here's just the graphical view, and over this 18 years, I highlighted the bars in a black border to show the top in the 4 sections, the 4-year sectors. And like I said, rookies 2, 3, and 4 have never been worth more and producing more than they've had in the last 4 years. Look at that. And you see back in the olden days, right, the older players were doing much better. But we're not seeing that now. We're not seeing that at all. So it is a thing to consider. Even in redraft, So I think I would definitely highlight a star in your notes who has 4 years or under experience. And certainly, for instance, look at all the 2-year folks that are moving to year 3, right? I'm not sure you'll get the same bang from the buck year 3 to 4 because, they say it's about the same, but you might see an uptick. The sweet spot might be 2 to 3, or draft, you know, one of these 4-year players going to year 5 or 6, 5th-year player, and say, hey, see if you can flip that to a second-year player that should be on the way up. I don't know. Think about that. Look at the other, other pieces of the team puzzle, but I think that's what the metrics are telling us about the running backs and years experience here. So, by my standards, this is a short lesson, and I know you want more, but I got more. We'll finish up the running backs on the next lesson, so you'll be action packed, ready to crank your league and crush the bugs that need to be crushed. So this is the process. My name is Dr. John Bush, and we're having too much fun. Come back, see the next lesson. We'll finish up running backs and then move on to tight ends and wide receivers. We'll have extra amount of metrics for that as well. We're just rocking and rolling. Everybody's half asleep. Let's wake up and take care of business. Okay, come back.